Hello everyone, I am Bonusri Das. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to teach you Cbse class 11, the first poem, a photograph by Shirley Toulson from the book Hornbill. The poet born in UK and her writing deals with folklore of Britain and Ireland. And the title, the photograph itself, conveys a deeper meaning. That means photograph always give a nostalgic aroma to the mankind. We always take the snap of the happy and the bad moments of our life to immortalize it. And whenever we look down to the photograph, we always drive ourselves in nostalgia or captivate ourselves in the memories of our bygone days. This poem is a touching tribute by the poet to her mother. And this poem is written in verses, in free verses. Moreover, the poet here compares the universal truth, that is the death and decay of human life, and the pain of separation, that is the death, which is the ultimate separation, which cannot be compensated, that is the irreparable loss. The poet here also portrays out that human beings are ephemeral, but the inanimate object in the nature always remain the same years after years from time immemorial. Here the poet also conveys that human life is divided into various phases. Firstly, the infancy, then the childhood, then comes youth, then comes adulthood, then aging. In human life, the childhood is the golden period of human existence, which is molded up with simplicity, kindness, innocency, and love. The poet here describes two losses in this poem. When the poet's mother used to see the photograph, she used to feel in nostalgic effect. She used to merge in nostalgic effect and feel the memories of the bygone days, that her childhood, when she used to spend her summer holidays with her two cousins, Dolly and Betty, that will never come back to her life again. Secondly, the loss of the poet, when she used to see the photograph, she used to recall or reminisce the laugh or the laughing gesture of her mother when she used to see the photograph. And she will never be able to get back again because her mother was no more. She was dead. And the death is the ultimate separation, which cannot be compensated with anything. Though the poet in this poem conveys that she was toiling hard to cope up with the present situation, yet the loss is a deeper one, irreparable one. The poet also conveys that there are various emotions in our life which cannot be expressed in word. So, silence is the greater communicative language which expresses a huge masses to the readers or to the others. Now I am just reading the poem and explaining it along with the poetic devices. The cardboard shows me how it was. Cardboard shows me how it was is personification, where cardboard is personified here. When the two girl cousins went paddling means walking, each one holding one of my mother's hand is alliteration. M and M is consonants. My M and mother's M consonants. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile. Stood still to smile is alliteration. S, that is consonants. Through their hair is also alliteration. T is the consonants. So here the poet is telling that there is a photograph which is framed And the photograph portrays out that the poet's mother is standing with the two girl cousins, Dolly and Betty, and her mother was 12 years old, holding the hand of the two cousin sisters, and she was the tallest one. And both of them were standing, the three were standing, and that was captivated by the uncle, and they were looking through hairs because they were in a play mood and they was not totally preened, so they were looking through the hairs. At the uncle with the camera, and who had captivated the snap? Her uncle. A sweet face, my mother. My mother is again alliteration. M is the consonants. That was before I was born. Why the poet compares her mother's face but told that her mother has a sweet face? Because that is the face of childhood, which is molded up with innocency and have a good radiance of her beauty, of a tender skin and tender age. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Terribly transient feet is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet. And transferred epithet means that a non-living being is compared with a living one. So here the poet again compares the ephemeral existence or the temporary existence of the human beings or the living beings with the immortal existence or the permanent existence of the natural ambience. Here the poet's mother, where she was standing, she was having a background frame, a picture, that is the sea, where the sea was washing away her terribly transient feet. So why the feet was concerned as a terribly transient one? Why terribly? Because the feet has a temporary existence which is proning towards decay gradually with the passing of time. Some 20 or 30 years later, that means after the photograph, some 20 or 30 years later, she laughed at the snapshot. When the poet's mother used to see the photograph after 20 or 30 years after the snapshot, she used to laugh. Why she used to laugh? See Dolly and Betty. See Betty and Dolly, she says, and look how they dressed us for the beach. And she used to laugh by recollecting or reminiscing her bygone happy memories which she used to spend with her two girl cousins, Dolly and Betty. The time period, the golden time period, will never come back to her life again. The sea holidays was her past, mine is her laughter. The sea holidays which she used to enjoy was the bygone memories of her mother, which will never come back to her life again. And for the poet, the smile of her mother, which will never come back to her life again, which she will never be able to see again because her mother was no more. Both wry means disappointment or sullenness or sadness. Both wry with labored ease of loss. Labored ease of loss, labored is in oxymoron. Because oxymoron is a poetic device where the two words with opposite meanings sit together to give a effective meaning of the line. That means both of them are disappointed, both of them are sad, sullen, because her mother was seeing the photograph and recollecting her bygone days, that her childhood would never come back to her life again. And the poet, just searching her mother's love, her mother's presence, and that she would never get back in her life again due to the separation, due to the death of her mother. Both the mother and the child, that is poet and her mother, enduring their loss silently because there is no other way only to accept the loss. Both endured the loss easily, though that eroded their heart emphatically. Both of them are in a loss, but both of them accepted it because They have to cope up with the present situation and have to proceed the life. Now, this is the labored age of loss is a transferred epithet, an oxymoron one. Now she is been dead nearly as many years. As many years means 12 years. As many years as the girl lived means 12 years. The photograph's age is 12 years. As many years means the 12 years. And of these circumstances, there is nothing to say at all. It is silence, silence. So silence and silence, again here it is alliteration. S and S means consonants. So this is the poem's summary, theme and critical. Now I am discussing some important questions. So what is the theme and critical or the universal message the poet wants to convey to the readers from the poem Photograph? That is one question. Second question. Discuss the two losses described in the poem by Shirley Toulson in Photograph. And again, another question. How the poet explains the human existence with the natural existence or the natural ambience sharply in this poem. And the last question is why the poet ended the poem with silence. So this is the total explanations, total possible questions of this poem. And now bye. And for till then, please stay with me. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it if you like my teaching. And till then, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you.